Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for a special Death Battle episode. We have Bowser versus Dr. Eggman. Now, as I should say with all of my reaction videos, please click the link in the description to go watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. So, Bowser and Dr. Eggman, how do I know these two? How do you not? I've played Mario and Sonic games since I was a kid, so yeah, I know who these guys are. Now, if you ask me, like, who would win in this fight when I was, like, much younger, I would say Bowser, no question. But when I said this is a special Death Battle episode, I didn't mean, like, oh, it's, like, two icons of my childhood. No. Because these two are getting everything, and their entire armies. So there's a lot to think about. As far as I'm aware, the only things that are really being, like, excluded are, well, Archie, and I think there's a couple stuff for Bowser. I'm not entirely sure, but we're not getting Archie Eggman. We're getting, like, games, anything that's, like, well, still official, but not Archie, and of course the IDW comics. So what do they have? Okay, so Bowser, his army has Goombas, Koopas, Bomb-Ombs, Shy Guys, a whole lot of Mario minions. He's got Bowser Jr., he's got the Koopalings, he's got Kamek, but aside from, like, minion stuff, of course he has, well, all his abilities, like, you know, breathing fire, he's got a spiky shell, he's got magic, which does include stuff like, turning toads into bricks, or even, well, Koopas into frogs, because he did that in Mario Party. But a couple things, to really note down are the Star Rod and the Dreamy Stone. The Star Rod can essentially, like, grant wishes, so I imagine, like, I'll say something is, like, afflicting his army, which I will get to in Eggman's bit. He could just be like, I wish this away, and then it's gone. But the Dreamy Stone, it will enable him to turn into Dreamy Bowser. And that's essentially, like, that's his most powerful. Like, and it's powered by, like, multiple universes, like, multiverse, like, that sort of thing. So, those are the kind of stats that Bowser's, bringing to this. Now, what about, Dr. Eggman? Well, on his side, we've got all various kinds of badniks. But I think, like, the main things are, obviously, Metal Sonic, Sage. I don't know if they are going to give him Infinite. I don't see why they wouldn't. But anyway, potentially Infinite might be in there. The Time Eater, quite possibly. And various kinds of mechs, including, you know, his Death Egg, which, okay, it's not a mech, it's a space station, whatever, which can destroy entire star clusters. So, that's a pretty powerful Death Star ripoff. And from the IDW comics, I know he has the Metal Virus, which essentially, if someone gets infected, it turns them into, like, a robot zombie. And if they just touch someone, the virus will infect them as well, and it will keep going from there and there. The issue with it is that Eggman is not immune to it, so if it gets out of hand, he runs the risk of becoming a robot zombie himself. I did hear how it was dealt with in the IDW comics. It was Super Silver, like, using his psychokinesis to pull the virus out of the entire population and yeeting it into the sun. Now, why do I bring this up? So Metal Sonic, with his scan and copy ability, he copied Silver's psychokinesis, so in theory, even if Eggman gets infected, he could just pull the virus out of Eggman, like Silver did. So that's a thing. And speaking of Metal Sonic and his copy ability, that's possibly going to be a huge help, because, well, any ability that, you know, any of Bowser's minions have, what's stopping Metal from just copying it? Because, well, he can copy pretty much anything he wants. Like, it doesn't even have to be tied to a physical body. Like, he copied psychokinesis, he copied invisibility from SBO, somehow. A whole bunch of, like, other things. And Eggman has some super forms of his own, including Nightmare Eggman. I love how he has that and Bowser has Dreamy Bowser. That's just funny. And Lightman, or Super Eggman, whichever you want to call it. Yes, Eggman has a super form just like Sonic. So I am really, really torn on who I think is going to win this. Part of me... okay, I feel like Bowser is just like the safer bet. But with like some of the stuff I consider and like look at with Eggman, I can see more scenarios where he might win. Like both their armies can like do all sorts of stuff. I didn't even mention that Bowser has King Boo, and he can like trap people in paintings and whatnot. The Time Eater can just trap people in white space. It's also possible that Metal Sonic might just copy that ability and, you know, do that to King Boo because he's not immune to that. So, you know, those are like good enough counters, and the main thing I remember hearing is like, okay, so Bowser can essentially get to like supersonic level by going into Dreamy Bowser. Eggman has Lightman, which is at the level of supersonic, but Metal Sonic can go Metal Overlord, which is at that level too. And he's also, well, of course, the Time Eater is at that level, considering it required 2 Supersonics to take it out. And it really depends on if they're going to allow Sage access to the Titans from Frontiers. I mean, she pilots Supreme, which is supposed to be like the strongest one. But it's also not Eggman's, so I can see like them not including that. But at the same time, like, it's a way for Sage to fight. But I don't know. So you got that. Plus, I know he has a mech called the Egg Wizard, which is the final boss in Sonic Rush Adventure, where he and Burning Blaze, Blaze, are in their super forms, and Sonic states that, hey, we need to work together to beat this thing. Just one of us wouldn't be enough. So, in theory, if Bowser has to fight all those at once, then it's possible that might just overwhelm him. And I can see that being a valid win con for Eggman, which is weird because, like I said, like, the longest time I've seen this matchup, I always thought, yeah, no, Bowser, obviously. But all this stuff is just really messing with me. Not, like, super messing with me, but, like, it's just I always thought this fight would go one way, but now I'm, like, not sure. But, hey, regardless of who wins, I just want to see a cool fight, and shout out to Morrow for being an absolute mad lad who decided to hand draw this fight. Yes, it's an army versus army fight, entirely hand drawn by Morrow. Like, if you're listening to me ramble about this before I start the episode, like, give some love for Morrow in the comments. Like, the guy deserves it. And it's like partly because of him, the fight is what it is. So, yeah, Morrow, like, give some love to Morrow if you're watching this. The crew have been hyping this episode up a lot, so I am really, 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 really excited to see it. And also find out what the 4th episode is this year. All I know about the 4th episode is that, based on what was said on Cast, or was it Fireside? I can't remember. But it's an episode that the crew weren't sure about doing, but have since come around to it. So, very, very curious. But anyway, with all of that being said, how about I put these on, shut up, and hit play. Or in this case, just wait for the YouTube premiere. Yeah.
This battle is sponsored by Marvel Snap and Prize Picks.
Oh, don't want captions on. There we go. Fight!
Bowser versus Dr. Eggman.
The king of the Koopas and the baddest of badniks. And they're not alone.
He's with
I'm Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Let's go.
Ah, the Mushroom Kingdom. A peaceful land of kindness, adventure, love.
Ah, boring. Move aside, princess. It's time this place got way more awesome. Here comes King Koopa himself, better known as
Bowser.
The moment this orphan star child was found by Kamek, it was
Yeah, it feels good to just have Bowser back on the show.
Outcasts of the Mushroom World, the Koopa Clan.
Sadly, not everyone's born a toad, and they treat these critters like monsters, fated to a life of infinite jump farming for one
For let's put Peach's family. He's Mario Bros, Yoshi, and swimming.
World. But Princess Peach Toadstool would never allow the evil king.
Already, Super Radiant Peach.
Her light was so
Put up your dukes, I just read that.
So he turned all the toads into bricks and kidnapped her, putting their princess in another castle, and another and
Never thought put up your dukes would actually be something Peach would say, but you know what, I am here for it.
To marry him and his dad, bud.
Yet he was foiled time and time again by those pesky Mario brothers. However, Bowser is nothing if not persistent.
Look at him! Dude's built like a brick house strapped to a saw trap. That spiked shell takes a lot of punch.
No, inaccurate.
Even the weight of a castle can scratch it, especially when he rolls up like a prehistoric Beyblade.
And the Koopa King doesn't just breathe fire and control lava, he commands nature itself.
Spitting
Magic,
from
yep.
outer space,
Oh god,
making
that's a
a
lot.
with a snap, inhaling torrents of
Castle
wind,
Bowser,
straight up
Junior
calling
Bowser,
down
Dry
lightning.
Bowser, Fury Bowser, Meowser.
Oh, just a little dabbling in
Oh yes, time travel.
magic.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Wizard turtle.
so they both
The
have that
original
too.
NES manual even describes him as a sorcerer king. Magic is how he turned the toads into bricks, only countered by the princess's heart magic.
But that's
The way
not
around
all
just
the
goes-
magic He's mastered telekinesis, creating perfect clones, reanimating his undead skeleton, and worst of all, ruining every game.
Wait,
of
Boomstick plays as Wario?
Hey, no, I
Boomstick, you pick Wario!
Treasures, coins, magic star rods, warships, clown cars.
How does Brent do that?
This is the same guy that created multiple flying castles fashioned after
My
his
neighbors are
own
probably
face.
very confused.
Definitely got an ego on him. He's talked about having a 4-digit IQ, but I've seen this moron put death traps in his own backyard. A man
Yeah, I
of
was-
his own heart.
I was about to say, you always beat Bowser by stuff that he
Leadership
just
brought
has
many to his side. Not enough to
around him,
beat
so
Mario,
I don't know about
but his
that.
army doesn't make it easy on the Red Plumber.
Well, maybe he has feats to back that up. Who
Who
knows?
World 8-4, the Koopa Troop.
An army spanning multiple territories across the Mushroom World and beyond.
Goombas, Koopas, the Troopas, and the others making the infantry. Some with wings, some with shoes, and some even in race cars. They're the red shirts, first in and first out.
Piranha plans
No,
for
and
campers and Lakitus
Jesus.
use their surroundings to get the jump on unsuspecting prey by land, sea, or sky.
We'd be here forever.
That is, that's a lot.
Who's Shy Guys, sentient bombs with
I feel like I'm gonna be saying that a lot, but
Imperative for Bowser to
there's a
nurture
lot in
and
this
learn
episode.
our abilities. For example, Kamek and King Boo both have magic, but Boo has battlefield control with illusions and destabilizing dimensions, while Kamek focuses on buffing allies, canceling enemy powers, summoning anything he desires.
or swapping my items to screw up my Mario Party lead. Not again.
Speaking of items, most of the minions can use pretty much any power-up Mario can. The Goombas make frequent use of Tanuki tails, and Bowser can really get into the cat roleplay. But as the Koopa Troop grew and grew, it started to feel less like an army and more like a family unit.
Oh, you mean like his kids, the Koopalings?
They're adopted.
yeah, except for Bowser Jr.
Bowser took them in and even trained them in dark magic.
Though no one's as spoiled as his natural Nepo baby, Bowser Jr., captain of the Koopa Troop.
Spoiled is an understatement. Remember his escapades as Shadow Mario? He terrorized Delfino Plaza with literal evil paint. That whole
Yep.
debacle was
Oh, I hated that level so much.
art class.
And I bet Bowser still has some on the fridge. But really, the king is very
That'd actually be
protective of
pretty
his
cute.
kids. If the fam's in trouble, he can will himself to transform into a giant kaiju, all to crush whatever bully's talking smack.
Maybe a little overkill. Just one punch from Giant Bowser launched a castle out of orbit. Taking into account the flight
Yeah,
path
Bowser's
and
pretty
speed
damn
of the
strong.
universe, Bowser's punch must have hit with a force of over 125 trillion tons of TNT.
Jesus.
Considering how Yoshi punted poor Raphael the Raven so hard he exploded into a constellation of stars, this isn't even close to Bowser's full strength.
So don't bully his kid, especially if he falls
All
into
right.
some of Bowser Jr.'s set of black paint. That stuff's scary.
Enough to unleash Bowser's dark fury. A force
Oh.
whose steps cause widespread natural disaster.
That's the
Okay,
origin of that
seriously,
form.
how
Okay, I
does
never
Mario
played
ever
this.
beat this guy?
So.
He's like Godzilla, Doctor Strange, and John Cena all in one big turtle.
We're not even to the best part. Bowser's dark magic became so potent.
I love how they're saying dark magic throughout this episode.
Fabric of reality.
Anything the king imagines, he makes happen. He turned all of Yoshi's Island into a storybook. And remember those painted worlds in Mario 64? Yeah, he made those. And the staircase that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh God, does anyone know how to BLJ?
He also stole ultra powerful items like the Wonder Flower.
Yep,
which
Wonder
can
Flower,
mold reality like Play-Doh, and the Dreamstone.
Star
which
Rock.
can
Okay,
use
I've heard of
to
Pure Heart
sum up
and yeah,
existence.
Dreamstone.
But his most iconic thefts are those big shiny power stars.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Infant power stars, aka Lumas, can become whole galaxies. They also ferried Mario across the universe in 3 seconds. That's 489 quadrillion times light speed.
Jesus.
The Big Daddy Grand Stars are even crazier. Bowser used one to power his space kingdom, but then guess who showed up to ruin everything? It's a him!
When the Grand Star was freed, it caused a chain reaction that destroyed the entire universe via a massive black hole.
And he nearly died.
God that Rosalina showed up to save the day.
Not that Bowser needed saving. He's been swallowed by another black hole and thrown into a star that went supernova.
Imagine if this crazy OP fire turtle had to fight himself. Oh wait, he did. And
I was about to say.
hell out of him.
With all this power, it's a wonder he still hasn't conquered the Mushroom Kingdom. Perhaps
Plot.
it's because his visions of grandeur were never really what he sought. Surrounding him is a crew of outcasts and miscreants like him, ride or dies that can't be swayed against him.
Oh, are you saying he's secretly happy because he's got a big monster family now?
Yes, but also when they actually worked together, they legitimately conquered most of the known universe. So,
He's a baddie through and through who will teleport through space and time to show you what's what. Because he's no ordinary Koopa. Make way for the king!
Man, that's one hell of a glow up for Eggman Analysis wise. You know what? I'm actually glad that there's an ad here because I can talk about the episode where I just heard a little bit. Okay, so universal level of power, which I already knew. An absurd amount of times faster than light, which I assumed. And magic that can like mess with reality. I'm pretty sure Eggman has stuff like that too, given like the Phantom Ruby and all. But I'm sure he has even more like absurd stuff that I just don't know. Okay.
citizens of Earth, lend me your ears. Imagine a world of endless possibility where people are free as the wind. Isn't it?
I understood those references.
Now imagine a better world, one with proper guidance and the technology to bring about global peace.
But Wiz, only a brilliant mind can make that happen.
Hey, Wiley.
Any brilliant mind, he's a genius at heart who knows the dangers within. He's Ivo Robotnik.
Dr. Eggman.
As a mad scientist myself, his story is my inspiration, just as
That
Eggman was
explains
his grandfather,
so
Robotnik,
much,
who sought
and yet
to
so
create
little.
World peace through technology. But then his beloved granddaughter
Ah, dude.
Maria, was killed by the Guardian Unit of Nations, better known as
If you haven't played Shadow Generations yet, play it.
UN. Anyway, Lil Eggy grew up a lonely narcissist because all his family talked about
I love how the
Maria
spray of him as a
Lynn.
baby had a moustache.
Boo-hoo.
Neglect and envy tainted Ivo's goals of following Gerald's footsteps. He distanced himself from his grandfather's legacy.
Oh, that
Instead of
shot.
shattering the world, he would conquer it to get the attention he deserved.
No, you mean craved. Desperately craved.
Tomato, tomato.
You just said it the same way twice.
He aimed to establish Eggman Land,
Oh boy.
the capital of science. And this paradise would have worked just fine if not for that blasted Sonic the Hedgehog.
For years, plans literally blew
That's
up in his
himself.
face.
Age of Stone!
He's a very sore loser.
But just like any good experiment,
Age of Stone got
did
mentioned.
more testing, seeking
Dude, I can't wait for the
He's
third
created
movie.
plenty of knickknacks to terrorize the world with. A laser gun, a cloning ray, mind control cannons, a flying armada, typical evil scientist stuff.
Then there's the big ones. He invented a spatial displacement trap, which, while online, scatters a target's atoms across space. Oh, and there's the metal virus, which transmutes organic tissue into living.
Okay, yeah, I knew about this.
It's so deadly, it created a plague that nearly wiped out all life on Earth.
Shame Eggman never made himself immune to it. That's
You'd think he
crazy.
would.
And when he's not duping you with decoys, he's riding in style with the Eggmobile. It's lightweight for maneuverability, but tough enough to withstand moon-sized explosions and even the center of a black hole.
I mean, it's kind of lame looking, but he can plug it into big bad mechs like the Egg Walker or the Death Egg Robot, whose giant laser once obliterated.
They're throwing a lot of maths in these edits.
Meters of rock in an instant. That's like having an atomic bomb in your pocket all the time. Oh, okay, maybe this guy's pretty cool.
Eggman built machines for a long list of combat situations. Some look like
Man,
guns,
all of these
others
just to
use
trip down memory lane
extraterrestrial
for me.
sources Like the Wisps. And then there's the orbital bases, like the Death Egg.
The reference is obvious, but Darth Vader's version is like a toy compared to the Death Egg.
Honestly, it really is.
Stars. Woof! A whole constellation gone in one shot.
That's not
Get
to say
wrecked,
Eggman
Palpatine.
doesn't enjoy scrapping with blue hedgehogs himself. Enter the Egg Dragoon.
Oh, the Egg Dragoon is so
The
cool.
rawest of the battle mechs. It's got electric drills. It's got ice missiles. It's got a whole lot of bullets. My
Oh,
God,
man.
Wiz.
Oh, Egg Wizard, there it is.
And don't forget, Eggman built all of these things himself. Maybe world
And Tiny, yeah,
domination
there we
isn't
go.
his grasp yet.
One problem. Eggman's a turbo loner. No hobbies, no friends, no wife, no nothing.
Come on, he has friends. I mean, he's a feminist. Oh, okay, maybe not. But what about Infinite? Sure, they might
Okay.
have joined forces.
So he's
over
got
and
Infinite.
mutually sought revenge against Shadow, but it counts, sort of. Who needs friends when he can build friends?
Obviously, Eggman has a tough time collaborating with others, so he just built
Yeah, a
his
little
own
bit.
army instead.
The Eggman Empire.
The Badniks are mass-produced foot soldiers, buzz bombers, crab meats, caterkillers, egg robos, and don't forget those cute little moto bugs.
Something about the Egg Robos, they can pilot the mechs.
By an elite, multi-talented unit, the hard-boiled heavies. Really leaning into the egg thing, huh?
The army has a wide
kind of
variety
his thing.
troops,
Jesus.
including a classic comedy duo with Orbot and Cubot. They're Eggman's assistants and immense disappointments. Every genius has their duds.
Hey, at least they're not scratching grounder. But that's why he's made top-notch bots.
This is
modeled
just
after
making
the
me so
Sonic
happy.
cats, like everyone's favorite robo-faker, Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic has the most horsepower in the Eggman Empire. He has the
Oh,
most
for
speed
sure.
of Sonic and then some. He's had his rebellious phases, but Eggman's reprogrammed Metal to better follow his commands. Additionally, when upgraded to his Neo form, Metal Sonic could copy biological data, including unique powers like Shadow's time stop technique, chaos control.
And he doesn't even need a Chaos Emerald for it.
Psychokinesis, and with enough chaos energy, he powers up into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Though everything would change with the appearance of the Phantom Ruby. One of many trump cards at Eggman's disposal, the Phantom Ruby alters reality by manipulating perception.
Basically, super OP illusions, but in Infinite's hands,
Yeah.
it's a weapon of mass destruction. I don't know how illusions translate to body replicas, changing gravity, or making a fake sun, but go off, King.
Yeah, you can just create a sun and drop it on you.
Consciousness, which is a thing, the Ruby granted Eggman the Lightman form.
There it is.
Apparently, Super Eggman is canon, though it is pretty complicated to manifest.
But the Phantom Ruby isn't the only souped-up gem Eggman has. He's used the Jeweled Scepter to make the world-shattering Egg Wizard. Then, on more than one occasion, he's effortlessly gathered the super rare, super powerful Chaos Emeralds. You know, the things that power Super Saiyan Hedgehog.
Eggman built and built and built, and eventually
I just love that and more.
started to build on him. Sage was originally
I
designed
love
as a player
Sage.
assistant, But through an alien encounter, she was granted actual sentience.
Sage is already super powerful, but now she's also super smart. She thought
And
of
adorable.
millions of battle plans all at once to defeat the massive titans.
And you can barely remember where you put your dune bug.
I know exactly where it is. It's at the police impound. Thank you very much.
Sage was Eggman's saving
I mean, he knows where it
He
is.
had previously found machines with personality lacking, but Sage's great adequacy in serving her function provided Eggman with something that, for the first time, he'd hate to lose. In essence, a sort of
Dude.
daughter.
Oh, I love,
Like
I love that film.
Gave her the keys
Love
to
that
his
art.
car, his spaceship, and his orbital death ray. Hell, now she controls the entire army.
And this frankly unheard of trust from Eggman became crucial in defeating the End. A primordial entity
Who's-
so mighty even Supersonic struggled against it.
Yeah, and then some.
Described as peak fiction, because charged by 7 Chaos Emeralds, Supersonic's no joke.
The power of one emerald can shift continents. All 7 together can shift the universe.
And kill some pretty terrifying bosses, like Eggman's Time Eater, which ripped apart space-time like tissue paper.
In short, Chaos Emeralds give thoughts power. With them, Eggman's best machines can run indefinitely while matching the greatest powers ever seen. Like when 3 supers battled Solaris, who tried to destroy time itself. Solaris
Yeah.
spread its chaos across multiple timelines in about 20 seconds, or 73 quadrillion times light speed.
Oh, Jesus.
While Eggman's smarts have sort of defeated Sonic here and there, he's pretty effective when he teams up with the Blue Blur to save the world.
Well,
Oh,
recall
yeah.
how Professor Gerald was a good person before losing the granddaughter he loved. In Eggman's case, now that he has Sage, perhaps a similar story is playing out in reverse.
I doubt it.
Nah. He'll always have a harebrained scheme behind his cufflinks.
So watch out, critters and plebeians of the world. He is the Eggman, and he's got the master plan.
Hey. Okay, damn it, I still don't know. Those speed feats sound really similar. They both have ways of, like, distorting reality. They each have time travel. They each have really, really overpowered stuff. I don't know. Okay, I feel like part of me I want Eggman to win just a little bit more because I'm more of a Sonic fan than a Mario fan. But I still feel like Bowser might just be the safer bet. So I guess I'm just gonna go with Bowser while at the same time hoping Eggman wins somehow. Like, either way, I'll be happy. I just want to see a really cool fight. And play. Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities. It's time for a death battle! Let's go! Okay, we're starting off with... Oh, of course, it's...
I've come to make an announcement. This territory is now the base for my upcoming Eggman Land 2.
Eggman Land 2.
What a joke. I am Dr. Eggman, your
Genius Overlord. Hey, they worked that in! Also, I meant to say this earlier, but Bowser's wedding, that's just a fantastic setup for his army being there. Oh, this fight looks so... That is such a cool shot. I thought there's a lot of mechs, Bowser's just gonna rip through them. Okay, it's a fake.
these toys an invasion force, but see Toads do better. That's a decoy, idiot.
His power is without peer. It is the ultimate strength.
Okay, you're busting the Phantom Ruby out really quickly. Alright, Infinite's getting trapped in a painting, I think. Ooh, or just crush. Right, there goes Infinite. Okay, Metal Sonic's here. I feel like Metal's gotta last longer, right? He just flicked his crown off. Oh my god, Chance. Ooh.
All according to plan.
You've lost the battle before it has begun.
Excellent work as always, Metal. Ready to wrap this up, Sage?
As you planned.
You know what they say, the more the merrier.
Oh boy.
Showtime!
Ooh. Oh, props to Mel though. Oh, this is so cool. Oh! Just throwing the army stage. Oh, okay, that's just the pipes. Ooh. Dude, Mel's putting in the work. Oh. Ooh, that's gonna piss him off.
Keep your hands off my...
Jesus Christ! There goes Metal Sonic. Surprised he didn't go Overlord.
Sage! The Death Egg! Max power!
Oh, we're just busting out the Death Egg. I mean, you still need to pull out other stuff, right? Okay, I feel like that's not it. Okay.
Curses! Sage! Fire it again!
Oh shit. Okay, well, Eggman hasn't used his other forms, has it?
So long, Doctor!
Ooh. Okay.
This war was not an easy one to win, which might seem surprising given how the Sonic series is not afraid to show how tough its cast is, while Mario's comes across as more cartoony.
But as it turns out, Bowser had everything he needed to take Chrome Dome down. Strap in, this one's a lot, so we'll break it down into 5 categories.
First up
Okay.
is physical stats. Bowser pretty handedly outmatched any of Eggman's usual mechs, like the Egg Dragoon or the Death Egg Robot.
The Death Egg robot could level cities. Bowser could punch a castle out of orbit.
The Death Egg could
Right.
destroy stars, but Yoshi could match that level of power, and Bowser's strength is certainly above the green dinosaurs. Plus, while both Bowser and Eggman's tech survived black holes, Bowser's was much larger.
So, he may win stats, but this could change.
Alright, but what about, like,
With
stuff
so
like the
many
Egg
items
Wizard
minions,
and how
that
powerful
could
that
make
thing
all
is?
that a moot point.
Aside from power-up items, both could manipulate minds, create duplicates, and alter space-time. However, Bowser had a significant edge in having access to the majority of his abilities at all times.
Yeah, Eggman can do some
Yeah, that's
crazy
true.
stuff, but only across different mechs, fortresses, or space bases. Bowser's all natural. He's got
Fair
all
enough.
the best powers built in, and he ain't even a robot.
Meaning he wins the war of attrition. He even had counters for battle enders like the Metal Virus and Spatial Displacement Trap. Context matters for those
Yeah.
weapons.
I will admit, when I first heard
But
that, I
more
thought
importantly,
maybe that's like a
Bowser could
good
simply
win con.
reverse the effects with his transmutation magic.
Oh.
Conversely, most
I like that
Eggman's
alternate
robots
scenario
could
I've
get
seen
turned
there.
into, say, a frog or a block with no reliable way back. Bowser takes the edge in powers.
But definitely not for intelligence. Come on, you have a 4-digit IQ, Bowser? Really? That's cute. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bowser's not an idiot. Usually, just really, really clumsy. Poor fella.
Meanwhile, Eggman's an engineering genius who rarely ever gets bested by brains.
Easy dub. Now, let's talk trump cards.
As in, items so powerful they could decide the entire outcome on their own.
The Phantom Ruby was super dangerous, but specifically targets perceptions. Unlike Bowser's Wonder Flower, which mucks up
That
reality
is
for
fair.
real. The Ruby
Oh,
affected a whole
okay.
planet, but the
I was starting to wonder why that form wasn't in there.
Also,
But,
the Dream
okay, it
Zone's
was
ability to wish
shown
anything
briefly.
out of existence would have no problem cleaning up Super Neo Metal Sonic or Time Eater.
Their most prized possessions.
Okay, I really am a fan of these, like,
Together,
alternate
the
scenario
symbols can break the
things.
universe, but so can the Grand Stars. Arguably not as much given the Emerald scaling to Solaris, though Power Stars and Grand Stars are far more plentiful. Clearly, this is getting fairly abstract, and both had multiple options that could win the day instantly. So the safest bet is to call this category
A tie. Okay, that's fair.
It's finally time to compare their armies. Eggman seems deadlier at first glance. I mean, look at all those buzzsaws and rockets. Metal Sonic's speed and power alone could solo most of the Koopa Troop. But the Eggman
Dude, Metal Sonic
Empire lacks
put the
something
work in on
Bowser
this
had in
fight.
spades. Teamwork and loyalty.
Eggman is a notoriously terrible team player. His alliances are practically
That is true.
guaranteed to fall apart.
Hell, in Sonic Generations, he could barely manage working with himself.
Eggman's army is designed
That's
to
also
control
true.
just him. To Eggman, it's harder to command those with free will, hence his rivalry with the free-natured Sonic.
Meanwhile, the Koopa Troop follows Bowser because they actually like him. They train really hard to cover each other's weak points.
Giving them plenty of advantages as this war progressed, like
That is
battlefield
fair.
control through King Boo's magic and Bowser Jr.'s paint. And since the Koopa Troop doesn't rely that much on technology, Sage's hacking potential had little use.
Also, secret weapon? Kamek is kinda busted, canceling Metal Sonic's power copying, stealing the Phantom Ruby, and potentially swapping the Chaos Emeralds were huge game changers.
Add on that Bowser and his army can use any Mario power-up item, and they had millions, no, billions of combinations that the Eggman Empire just could not actively plan against. Even with Sage's millions of plans to take down the Titans, she thought them to be unbeatable, which Sonic proved was incorrect.
Just comparing their content.
Those are the odds he likes to beat.
Clear. The Eggman Empire took over the whole planet, but Bowser's troop conquered most of the universe.
Eggman was no
That's fair.
pushover. His wit, power output, and ridiculous machines gave Bowser the biggest fight of his life. But the Koopa King's ludicrous strength, abilities, and united forces ultimately prevailed.
Eggman tried to poach the king, and now he's cracked and scrambled.
The winner is Bowser.
Congrats, Bowser.
Time on Death Battle.
What's episode number 4? Oh my god, it is!
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Oh, dude, that episode was insane. Like, props to the team for, like, putting all this together. Props to Morrow for just, making this. Okay, am I sad to see Eggman lose because I'm more of a Sonic fan? Yeah, absolutely. But, hey, I put my bet on Bowser and won, so. There's at least that. But the fight itself was awesome. There was so much going on. Seriously, Morrow, props to you, dude. And also, damn, props to Metal Sonic for doing so much. He put in the work in that fight. Like, he was fighting everyone. Like, goddamn. And I mentioned this, before, but, having, a fake, wedding with Peach is, the best setup for Bowser's army all being there. Like, especially given that scene in the movie, it's just funny. Also, I did, for a second, think that, wait, the Death Egg shot, is that it? Because I thought, well, no, hold on, there's all these forms that just haven't been used yet. And, yeah, sure enough, no, that was a fake out, and I did start to think, wait, hold on, when Eggman was getting sucked in, I thought, hang on, he still has stuff he hasn't pulled out yet, and then the fight was just over, so that kind of threw me for a loop. But then they showed off all those, alternate scenario scenes, which, props to Morrow for animating those as well. Goddamn. So it at least did fulfill me in thinking, wait, hold on, this is missing. So I do wonder if that's something we are going to see in future episodes, especially ones as complicated as this, because that's actually a fantastic touch. Oh, and the soundtrack, I cannot wait to listen to that on its own. Like, just from the sound of it in the fight, it sounded so good. And all the other things they worked in there, like Chance Time especially, that was just funny. Oh, and of course, while I'm a little sad to see Eggman lose, I'm at least glad that Sage didn't die. So, she is still alive. I think that after scene of her, like, maybe enlisting into Bowser's army is a bit morbid, but considering Eggman just died and she considers him her dad. But, I mean, there was also, like, a way that she could bring him back with the... It's a machine in... I think it's Superstars that, like, revives allies, so... Sage could totally bring him back. Like, so, Sage still has a dad. Anyway, that next time... Okay, real quick. Max, you better confirm this in the comments, because I called it. Like... For context, I was, like, just talking with Max a few trades, like, the other day, just, like, through text, like... I'll look at the 4th episode B, and I just threw out, watch it be Fall Guy vs. Among Us. So, called it! You better verify that in the comments, Max. That fight is gonna be stupid. But stupid in a fun way. Yeah, I have played Among Us, with, like, various friends, like Proboscis and Billy. Like, go check out their channels and give the Among Us videos a watch. So yeah, I feel like I'm just rooting for Among Us, like, right out the gate. There is the Death Battle cast, which spawned the whole Fall Guys as a show meme. That being said, okay, there was this ad... I remember, and, like, one of the crewmates, like, pulled out a gun, which shot a laser, and then he, like, span around, and it sliced the planet in half. So, that's kinda nuts. But, hey, whatever happens with that episode happens. I don't really have that, like... I don't necessarily have a horse in the race, I've played Among Us, that's about it. I know there's, like, other media, I just haven't looked into it. Like, I just kind of see it as just a fun game to, like, goof around with friends. But anyway, looking forward to that. And I am gonna go ahead and, wrap this up. So, thank you for watching, all of that stuff, and... I will see you next time for Fall Guys vs. Among Us.